What's up, everybody? Red Zeta here. I know it's been a while. It's just been I've been busy, but I'm now on spring break, so expect a few videos over this time. Today I'm thinking of doing. I am going to do a review of an anime that is very popular, even to this day. I think there's a new series going on in Japan right now. I think, which I hope it gets ported here, but that's probably not going to happen. The series I'm talking about is Gundam. Uh, for those of you that don't know, Gundam is basically a mech anime by a company called Sunrise. Uh, but this has multiple series throughout the course of its history, which none of which from what I know, are linked together. There, from what I know, there's not have never been a crossover besides one series in particular. But the one I'm talking about, there was no crossover between any of the following series that was followed. The one I will be discussing is called Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing is um, set in colony year 095. Colony year is just a way for the anime to say it's in the future without actually giving it a real date, from what I could totally tell, because almost every one of the Gundam series is set in an '09 setting. And I don't mean 2009, I mean like further into the future. And by colony, in the first series, you see that we have left. There are still humans that live on Earth, but we have started to form space colonies out in space. So that's why that's why they use the years. That's because that's how long we've been out in space for, from what I've gathered. So I'm totally guessing. If I'm wrong, please leave it in the comments and correct me, and just be polite about it if you don't mind. Now with this series in particular, we are now the reason why I want to review this one is because this is the first of the series I saw when I was a kid. It was amazing, and the art style was great, and the story was pretty good. And the characters, wow, the characters were great in this show. Um, let me. So the story is that the colonies are getting fed up with a certain military group called Oz. That is, um, like basically, I would say like a dictatorship group that is sort of doing whatever they want with the colonies, and like they're making rules and laws that are not really fair to the people of the colonies, and they a certain bunch of people have been getting fed up with this and are starting to form a revolution by making these mobile suits called Gundams. Now, throughout this series, there's many mechs which they are called mobile suits, but the Gundams separate themselves because they're like sort of like Gen 1 type mobile suits that barely are used, or they have rare materials, so they stand themselves out among the mobile suits so you know which one is which. Uh, the show starts off. It's if I don't want to say slow, because it's not slow at all. It's pretty darn action packed in the very first episode, and if you don't fall in love with it in like the first 5-6 episodes, then totally watch something else, because there's many other Gundam series that you might actually fall right in love with. So if you don't like this one, give another one a shot, and you totally might find out that you might actually like it sooner or later. Or if not, there's tons of other enemies out there that you can watch, or that you've already watched, and you usually fall in love with anyway. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. So our first introduction to one of the main characters named Hiro Yui, uh, is flying his space pod to Earth, which that's his objective, is to get to Earth to stop the main forces of Oz on Earth, so it can help the colonies back in space. Um, Along the trip, we also see our another one of the main characters, called Relina Peacecraft, or Relina Dorlin, and I will not explain the crossover between those unless you want to watch the show, and I might even do a spoiler version of the shows. Like I might do a spoiler version of Yu Yu, and I'll do a spoiler version of this as well. Just so if you want spoilers, I'll give you spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, I'll make these videos. Back to the case at hand. Along the journey, Relina is coming home from a trip with her father into space, and along the way, she sees this spacecraft or meteor that is falling towards Earth and wondering what it is. Then immediately later, we meet our first villain, but our third main character, Zex Marquise, who is a very high-ranked soldier in the Oz organization, and he has heard rumors of this mission that the colonies were making, to bring something to Earth to make the war in their favor. So when they pick up this reading of this meteorite that is coming towards Earth, they immediately want to go check it out because he totally thinks that there's something suspicious about it. So immediately when they come across the meteor breaks, and we see this mech ship that is inside, that was actually cased inside the meteorite, and it forms into into a Gundam, which this one is called the Wing Zero, and I'm also going to explain in this video the other Gundams that are in this series because they all have names, and this one is called Wing Zero because this is the first one that we are introduced to and see. It is Wing Zero, right? Yeah, it's Wing Zero. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. So blah blah blah. Back to the thing. So Zex decides to get in his mobile suit and give it his best to fight this mobile suit. The fight does go very well in his favor, but it helps Hiro complete his mission by getting to Earth. Zex takes hold of the Gundam while near Earth's atmosphere and traps it and makes it sink into the bottom of the ocean. Now, this is not the end of Hiro Yui's story. He somehow manages to escape before the incident, before landing into the water, but is knocked unconscious. And then Relina, when she gets back on Earth, soon finds him, and when she does, he acts in a very peculiar way, and then storms off by stealing an ambulance, and then it just ends. That's sort of the ending of the first episode. Then later on in the series, we see him again threaten her life because his identity has been exposed. Now later on in the series, we get introduced to 4 other characters along with their mobile suits, Gundams. I should be more specific on that. We meet Troa Barton with his Gundam Heavy Arms, which is a Gundam that is basically all heavy equipment, heavy machine guns, missiles. He does have like a blade, but the main source of his power is the machine guns and the rockets. Then we meet up with Duo Maxwell. Uh, Duo is sort of like the comedy figure of this show. He's very witty and he's also very intelligent. With this, we see the Gundam Death Scythe, which is a black figure Gundam, and uses a beam scythe as its main weapon, as well as a few other things. But the beam scythe is its main weapon there. Uh, Next up, we meet Wu Fei Chang, who is the lone wolf of the series. Like, he does not like working well with others, and even when he does, he still sees that his way is the best way. Wu Fei's Gundam is it's also very interesting in a way. Like, it has a dragon's head as a weapon, as well as a beam sphere. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I sort of can't remember. I might put it in the spoiler because I can't really remember at this second. So moving on. Next we meet the fancy rich kid, Ketra Rababa Winner, with his Gundam Sandrock. The Sandrock Gundam is just basically a melee Gundam. It barely uses its weapons. But Ketra is not really into the whole... Like, he doesn't mind fighting, but he doesn't like being a part of the war, basically, because he doesn't like... When you see him kill people, you sort of see him regret it. And you also see that he tries to save many of the people that he gets in combat with, and he tries to save their lives as best as he can. But when he sees no other option, he does kill, which he does not like doing that much. With these 5 Gundams that were sent to Earth, they are here to defeat Oz as best as they can. So that's pretty much the whole story throughout the first half of the series. The second half I may as well explain in the spoiler, because there's tons of spoilers in the second half that is not mentioned in the first. So when I get around to it, I'll make the spoiler video and I will upload it explaining the rest of the series as best as I can. And as well as remember what Wu Fei's Gundam was, which is sort of embarrassing. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so let me get to the nitty gritty stuff. Once again, this series has many characters. The ones that I mentioned are just the few that you'll see throughout the show that are main or partially main, that like they will die or they will not be seen again for a while. But there are still tons of characters in this show, just like in UU, that you can probably enjoy watching and seeing. Once again, the art style, it's also very different from some of the Gundams. Like, I've seen two series in general of Gundam, but in completion, I should say, I've seen 5 or 4 to 6, I think, but I've only seen 2 in completion. I haven't seen many others in completion. Like I said, these videos are meant for me to review completion ones that I've seen, not partials, because I would like to give it a fair review and not an unfair review if I don't see them. So, moving on. The characters, the art style, the story. each character has, or each character has its own storyline basically. Even though the overall story is the big thing, you easily start falling for the other characters' stories right when you get introduced to them and understanding what they're going through or why they're a part of this. This series had you cannot watch this on Netflix right now anyway. YouTube probably has them all. I don't know that for sure. If you want to buy them, like I have them, I would suggest they look for the Anime Legend version in Collection 1 and Collection 2. They're not too expensive. And they're like, I think there's I think 5 discs each, so a total of 10. Which is a lot of episodes to watch. You can probably get them done in a couple of days, a day if you are an all-nighter and you want to push it. But other than that, I just suggest probably buying YouTube it if possible, but if not, research it if you want to watch it, or buy it and see if you will enjoy it, because it's a pretty good setup of a show, and like I said, it doesn't follow a track within the other series at all, so you won't be confused. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the end of this video. If you like it, please leave a like. If you have any anime suggestions that you would like me to review, I will give it a watch. And even if it's okay, I'll do this. If it's still doing new episodes, I will watch up until the newest episode, and then I'll probably do a review of it. So if you have a suggestion of a show that you would like me to watch and review to and discuss, just leave it in the comments, and I will give it a shot and see if I can do it. Please, no Japanese with subtitles, because that's very hard for me as a person, because I actually like watching the show compared to watching the subtitles on the screen. So yeah, like I said, if you liked it, leave a comment if you know what Wu Fei's Gundam is by any chance. Also, leave a comment for any future videos you'd like to see, and also comment how everything is going, or what's going on. And subscribe if you would like to see any more videos. Once again, only if I have time. I have time right now. I might not have time again in the future. Like, these might be several months or several weeks or several whatever's apart. So just don't expect them to be like Rooster Teeth videos and out every week. So I'm trying here as a person, guys. So I like all you guys, whoever watches this, and I like whoever's watching it now, because you're taking the time to watch it. So yeah, I hope you're having a great day, or evening, or afternoon, holiday, birthday, or whatever that's going on with you right now. I hope it's going well, and I hope God is blessing you with everything that He has planned for you. God bless you guys. Peace out. Red Zeta here. Peace out.